Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. With me is Tig. How you doing, Tig?
Hey, what's going on? It's good morning. Happy Saturday morning to you. I got my cereal and my orange juice, and I'm ready for cartoons.
Great. And got some chat. Good morning, Gorilla. On your way to your sister's for a party. Have a good morning, Gorilla. Hope the party isn't. Uh, I'm.
Thank you for the copy
Hopefully, you have
of
booze.
thank you for the copy of American Society of Magical People, but my channel members voted to not watch it like 4 times in a row.
Smart people.
Smarter than their host.
That is god awful, and don't show that to people you like.
Are you saying the destructive interviews where some of the cast members fly off the handle at the director because it's such bullshit and such a different thing than they were promised when they saw it at Sundance is better than the movie?
I'm saying water torture is better than that movie.
It wasn't ironically funny. It wasn't misguidedly funny. It wasn't funny in a satirical or ironic way. No, it had nothing going for it, huh?
Not even a small, not even 10 seconds worth of good material in the entire movie. The
How about
only
stuff that was
redeeming
terrible?
quality of that movie
Right,
is that the star got paid more than the take
right.
for the box
Yes.
office.
I think the movie he made 20 million, right? Or he made 15 of the
He made
25
3
million dollar
million.
budget. All right, the movie
Uh,
was about 20 to 25 million, the whole thing, right?
about 15 to 20.
Right. So he made like he got 3 or 4 million. And then
They only
at
made
the Sun
about $2.5 million total at the box office.
at the end of weekend 1 when they said $750,000, I was like, wow, it did actually about twice as good as I thought it would do. But David Allen Greer was like there was a Sundance Film Festival back in like January or February where they had the director and like the young star of the movie and David Allen Greer. So the director is like very high in himself, but he knows the movie sucks. The young star is like caught in the middle. He doesn't really know. Like he keeps agreeing with the director, like, yeah, it's really great. And then the director says something that really is just like very J.J. Abrams like. He's like, I'm a great director because I'm a very freeing director and I'm a very artistically enabling director. So I let the artists go out there and do their own thing, except when I just add texture to it. Otherwise, you're getting the artist's interpretation. And Greer, like his eyes go like real, like his eyes go like slits. And you could see his, but you could still see his eyeball roll over, and like he starts to frown. He takes like this long drink of water. He makes a couple of jokes to set the stage, like he's being silly, but then he called the guy Black Stalin, and he called the set hostile, and he called the production being like being stuck aboard a mutinous battleship.
Yeah, that sums up that movie pretty well.
He also said the guy lied to him, cut out parts of the movie that were supposed to be in there, and took out contributions to the movie that he had promised to put in there. And then he wouldn't reveal some of the cut stuff, and Greer kept asking him over and over because clearly it was like something really hateful, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to reveal it.
David
He's
Allen
like, "Go
Greer was
ahead,
the only
tell
one who
people
knew
what
what
it
he was
is."
doing on that movie. Everyone else was either too
Did,
young or too crooked.
um, something was going on where that was the directors. They asked him, what do you think is the appeal of this movie? He goes, well, you'd think that the whole joke would be about 2 minutes. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that's true. And he's like, but I realized it was much bigger than me. I'm like, where is he going with this? And he's like, this concept that was brought up, this toxic trope in films of magical Negroes. And I'm like, this was something said by Spike Lee to describe one movie. And he's like, that was 20 years ago. And he's like, it has to be stopped. So, it was much bigger than me. And so what I did was I thought about my own personal experience. So I wrote about me.
Yeah. And hello to LDG and to Tim's Talk.
Hey,
Welcome, guys. So, what we
it,
got? The winner of the poll was Wildcats. A lot of people probably haven't heard of this. It's a superhero team up cartoon, a little bit after X-Men, but this one I believe is from Image or Dark Horse, one of the two. But it's very 90s. I mean, stereotypically 90s. And you'll get that after about 5 seconds of the intro song. If you want to watch along, the pinned comment has the link to Cosme. So let's get this going.
Is this show going to give me pause?
No furries. At least I don't remember any furries. Here we go.
Is this related to any larger property? They look like people we know, but are they?
Well, one of the characters in this was basically 100% ripped off for a Spider-Man Unlimited character.
I see a lot of people who look very near Marvel or Marvel adjacent.
I think Marvel owns them now.
Did they acquire them through a plagiarism suit?
Yeah, because Dark Horse and
It's
Image
pretty
are no
close.
longer independent.
Right, yeah. Dark Horse used to be its own thing, and now it's Marvel. It's like Team America.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the C.A.T.S rescue team. Is it too cute by half to have these near copyright infringing characters, one of them be named Grifter?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the closest thing to copyright infringement was on Marvel.
It's Capcom looking too. Really?
Yeah.
No. Surprised, but not surprised. Like, this is basically Headpool.
Says the giant green alien.
It's how very istophobic of you, Germ. You are a giant green individual yourself. You know, have you looked in the mirror lately?
Oh, I'm microscopic.
That's true. You have a microscope in front of your mirror. So Rogue Storm is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Come on, Grifter, let's get out of here. Those are words I haven't said since my wedding day.
I guess LDG remembers this cartoon.
Maybe he's just loving it right now. The name's Spotswood. So it's a secret invasion?
Yep.
Are we on the edge of a secret war? It's okay. We can trust
And they
Gary.
all happen to be immortal.
They don't just look exactly like their ancestors like on other TV shows.
Either that or they cheaped out on the animation.
Get real, lady. I'm no space freak. Also unsaid since my wedding night. Be happy that you just look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
He can
Maybe they
never
shouldn't
touch
have done
himself
that on a
again.
random rooftop.
It's like, I just want to go home and oh, my hands are razors. Does everyone just call each other Grifter, or is that character the only one who gets addressed by name over and over?
It's just him. They do got good character design.
They look cool, and they absolutely had like one of the artists is like, yes, I failed out of law school. I know intellectual copy law. I was drawing on the back of my notebook and making comics the whole time, but I remember it. So like, good. We need these characters to go pretty far, but not over the lines. Like I can do that.
And they're
Why
pretty
are they just
sexy.
having one quote after another from my wedding night?
Well, maybe you married an alien.
My sister thought so. I mean, I want to be upfront. She was naturalized. I don't think once you're naturalized, you count as an alien.
Great leadership. Yeah, counting on the guy who's already been possessed. Obviously. Well, it's some like vengeance to motivate you. Well, that explains why he's 10,000 years old. You're not getting anywhere in that. I mean, of course, she's dumb enough to hold on to it. for the moment. They had him in his hands. They didn't kill him, didn't take him prisoner. Well, that was extraordinarily easy for them.
Ozzy Osbourne would love this show. It's got a heavy metal theme song, and the characters' names are Grifter, Hellspawn, and Warpig.
Oh yeah, this is '94, so this was a direct response to the success of X-Men.
Oh, hell yeah. I still think this would have been this was probably by far Ozzy Osbourne's favorite cartoon when he would wake up on Saturday mornings to watch him. I particularly enjoy doing cocaine, watching Wildcats. Really like the
Well, no,
character
Ozzy was
Warpig.
clean in the '90s, at least supposedly. Gray, he probably did enough drugs in the '80s that he hadn't sobered up until the 2000s.
Oh, but listen, I've been a big fan of Ozzy Osbourne for a long time, and there's been a pattern in interviews that I've noticed. It's in every interview he says the same thing. They're like, "You're Ozzy Osbourne, rock and roll madman, and known for like drug abuse and drinking. How do you stay alive?" And he's, "Well, it's a funny thing. It turns out I'm not a drug addict at all. About 2 weeks ago, I just ran out of drugs and I didn't want any more. And I've been sober for about 2 weeks now, and it's the best I've felt in my life." And like 4 months later, you'd see another interview with him and be like, "It's funny you should say that because about 2 weeks ago, I simply ran out of drugs and then I've stopped doing them and I've been clean and I've never felt better in my life." And then like a couple months later, you'd be like, Ozzy got arrested for like being drunk in public. He's like, "Right after that, I just simply ran out of drugs and I didn't want any more. And I've been sober." So it's a bullshit story. He's always wasted.
Yeah. I don't think it matters if he ever touched drugs after 1986. He'd been completely
The
stoned out of his
seizure that fucked
mind
up his
by that time.
he had probably fucked himself up beyond all belief by the time he did his first Ozzy album, but whatever happened that fucked up his speaking voice was closer to like 1998. It was fortunate he could still sing. And I mean, anybody out there who thinks you're unsuccessful in love, imagine being married to Sharon Osbourne and being 70 years old with Parkinson's disease and still going out to tour rather than staying home with her. It's like, I went home and she was hanging out with Whoopi. I was like, what the fuck is Guinan doing here? I'm just realizing
Oh,
right
new
now,
bad guys.
if they made Ozzy Doctor Who and just went with it, it would be better than what they've got.
Be more coherent.
They would have subtitles, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely have to.
Or have his son dub the voice.
Yeah, Ozzy couldn't do his
Attica.
own lines at this point.
Well, what kind of lines? Cocaine or a dialogue? I'm fairly sure the
He's
cocaine would
gonna need
go
help with
away.
both.
No, I'm pretty sure the cocaine will go away. He probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he might.
I know it's hard for him to get the lines just straight with the shaking. He needs
Someone has
someone
to cut the
to line it
lines
up
for
for him.
him, but he can snort them just fine. What does Keith Richards say when he sees Ozzy? It's like fucking amateur. It's not. It did. They didn't foresee that the complaining character named Karen would come back in an ironic way to be appropriate. It kind of looks like the Ghostbusters. When they walk, man, there's some limitations to the animation.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. That's not one of the cybernetic upgrades you got.
Spotswood here is drawn like shit. I assume that you just got what? What? She never even dated?
Yeah, there's always a war.
Every time that she's being difficult or refusing to do something, he says her name, which happens to be Karen, and it's just accidentally hilarious. Like, Karen, please, just do it. Karen, get out of here. I apologize to the Karens of the world.
A small animation error there. He didn't have his mask on before.
Also, when they came through the door into the room earlier, you could see them before the door opened, parts of their bodies. There's a lot of animation 101 mistakes. Like, dare I say, these people could draw, but they could not animate, is the way I would put it.
Yeah, the series was kind of rushed.
So the guy who looks like Deadpool is obnoxious and wisecracks like Deadpool.
Yep.
Nothing suspicious about that. This is so much better than, say, New Trek. There's a mystery, but now we're going to explain why there was one.
Yeah,
Our point of
your
view
robot man
character
is in love.
our point of view character changed from episode 1 to episode 2. Karen, look at me. I'm made of metal. Can you harvest your penis? That character's name should be Manager because Karen needs him. There's like 8 of them. Why not just, like, in the words of Scott Evil, just kill them?
Oh, there's about 8 of them. There are hundreds of the lizards.
I would say start killing them. Maybe with a gun. Spotswood is like reverse Reed Richards with that kooky hair.
Who wouldn't want infinite power?
Um, hmm. Doomcock wants to rule the world, so that cuts him out. Emperor Palpatine, not his style to turn that kind of offer down either. Is the whole Infodyne or Infinite Dyne or whatever it is that supposed to be like? Is it supposed to be OCP and like Technodyne from like Skynet from Terminator like wrapped together?
Probably. It's just the name they came up with.
Before computers, they had a name and meme generator. It would be great if they used someone else's characters' names aside from just grifters over and over. I know the bad guy is Hellspawn, and I know one of the good guys is Grifter, but that's it.
Yeah, Grifter is the Deadpool looking one. Warblade is the metal guy.
Who started out as a human being.
Yeah.
They punished him by giving him the most festive outfit.
I think it's Mauler, the big guy. I'm not sure about the women.
So Void and Zealot are the chicks. Two of the three chicks.
What? Yeah, Void's the computer. I think Zealot's the Red Sonja looking one.
Right,
I
she's Rogue
don't know
slash
about.
Storm.
Yeah.
And then like
I'm not sure about the purple one.
Jane Earl Grey here. There's no way the Team America guys didn't see this because that guy is exactly Spotswood.
Yeah. But this is before Team America.
You know, the math works out. Team America is 04, and this is like 94. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone, or whatever they are, Trey Stone and Matt Parker, they were like 25 when they did that, meaning that they'd be like 13 to 15 when this was on. I think this probably directly influenced some Team America.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see 15-year-old them sitting on a couch Saturday morning smoking weed, eating
I was
cereal,
going to
watching
say,
this.
smoking their parents' weed while their parents are too hungover to catch them. Come on, these are the South Park guys we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Rolling a joint with the Book of Mormon. We'll write a play about this one day to make up for it. The Book of Mormon is my favorite thing to read at a motel. I still see nothing as bad as I saw in Last Jedi. This is still a much better story than that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely better than The Last Jedi. It's probably better than The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's better than The Force Awakens.
Yeah. He
I like
saves the
how the.
world and performs industrial espionage all at the same time.
And you barely need it because look what you have. What I love about you is inside me.
Yeah, but the outside parts she used to love, I don't think made the translation to the titanium body.
God, we can only hope not, right? An unfeeling alloy phallus. Horrible. Harvey Weinstein didn't have it that bad. So I don't know how many people know this, but Cry of the Coda, the name of this episode, Coda is musical tablature notation for repeat infinitely till end.
Hopefully that doesn't involve this episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to put it on infinite repeat. We're going to have to watch this for the rest of our lives. We started this and we can't stop it now.
Okay. Since they haven't actually said her name yet, I'm guessing the little purple chick is Voodoo. Just looking at the IMDb page, that's the only character I can't line up. So
Yeah, I want to say right now that while this might be okay, like the art is better than the animation, and their ability to get across who is who and what is what is terrible. We don't know anybody's name except grifters. They say it 6 or 7 times an episode. He never responds to anyone using their name. We don't know who anyone is except Marlowe, Grifter, and Warpig. And Void.
Yeah. Not really a lot of support for the secondary characters.
It's sort of like Suicide Squad, but they forgot to introduce that one person with like the 3 introductions in a row. And so like when she shows up, like, this is Katana. It's like me. It's like so famously bad that it's memed. There's something starkly familiar about that tower.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. They just took a line right from
Don't fall for it.
Star Wars.
You don't kill them.
You just told a woman to stop being so macho. Was this written by English speaking people? Finally got her name. Oh, we heard it last episode.
And you won't get it again the entire episode.
We name one tertiary character per episode, and that's it.
At least the big guy got his initial on his forehead.
I, they're basically talking about restoring balance to the Force. They're using the word hell as a character's name. There's a lot of implied, just to the edge of it, bad language. Who is this cartoon supposed to be for?
90s kids. 1995 to 1999. This was all they made.
This is for an underachieving, very stoned high school boy. You must repeat infinitely until the end. So he just basically said the sand people are easily frightened, but they'll soon be back and in greater numbers.
Yep.
This story is kind of like one of those ransom notes cut out of the newspaper and glued onto a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's pretty much what the late 90s were for everything.
Yeah. Motley Crue had success going into the 90s. So then for the entire 90s, every heavy metal band had to be exactly Motley Crue. You could be Motley Crue with 2 guitar players. That was like the only variation you were allowed to have. Remember the first Alice in Chains record, what they looked like?
They never really changed. They were all scruffy looking drug addicts.
On their first album, but they're not really going anywhere. The picture's I think only on the back, and it's like someone has tried to make them look like Poison, but like you could tell that they weren't into it because they were so drugged up. But they poof up their hair and they've got kind of glammy clothes. It's weird.
Yeah, and you obviously abandoned them.
Is this the character Karen? Did she turn into a blue-haired monster? Because that would be very appropriate and prescient, huh?
Well, they
Artemis, oh
couldn't
well.
afford a lot of voice actors.
You're not really pretending to be mercenaries. You are. We have taken money and gone to war pretending to be soldiers for hire.
And now they plan to double cross the guys paying them. It took 3 episodes, but they finally named Voodoo.
There we go. I wish that the work of Dave Filoni possessed this sort of self-awareness that it was on a child's level.
Yeah. If you're gonna try to bank off of someone else's success, at least be honest about it. Lean into your cheapness and ability to rip off something that actually hit off on its own.
I will take the Arthurian character of unknown origin, whose origin is then cleaned up, and turn him into a female character with no origin at all. Meet S. Holka. By the way, I saw about 5 minutes of the most recent Doctor Who.
That must have been very, very trying. I hope you had alcohol to wash it away.
Jesus Christ. Someone said to me that this is the third straight episode where they've had a pronouns please moment. They them identifiers got representation through an evil idiot. Congratulations, everybody. I mean, she's right out of the heavy metal movie. It's like it's pretty naked.
Yeah.
He's using a data spike that they
Form-fitting
haven't shown us
clothes
yet.
and cut off right where TV would allow it.
Cat fight. I think Zealot has a clause in her contract. You are my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Yeah,
Finish
it's still a
me.
kids' cartoon show, so absolutely no killing.
No, no, I won't kill her. This guy can only draw two kinds of physiques. What the fuck?
Probably easier just to destroy the facility. As far as earthquake machines go, that's pretty basic. Can never trust a mercenary. Or maybe the lizards has been check bounced.
I like how Rant Man can grow ink.
But when they tell the boss, it was definitely the Wildcats who blew it up.
Yeah, they didn't get the best voice actors or instruct them very well. There's almost no inflection to any line.
She will. And don't pretend that that Artemis is human either. She's been around for thousands of years. Okay, fourth and final episode, The Evil Within. Conveniently enough, another competitor for his company. Hey, it's your fault. You should have trained her to fight. Yeah, that's sort of obvious.
I would have recommended this conflict start somewhat sooner than the beginning of time because they are not making any progress, and we can see why.
Yeah. Both sides are completely incompetent.
In that way, it does remind me of The Last Jedi. That's right, you never will. She's already got an exotic dancer name, and now she's going to school for it.
Yeah.
When you graduate, do you get your own pole? Kind of feel bad for anyone who has to study really hard for high school equivalency.
Yeah, I never had that problem.
I passed my GED. I mean, I graduated from high school, no problem.
Yeah. Some smart ass teacher gave the class the equivalency test. I believe it's either freshman year or sophomore year. He's rather pissed off that I passed it. He's trying to make a point that school's important. You're going to need this to actually get the knowledge you need. He's playing for everyone to fail. And apparently, it usually everyone does, but me and a couple others actually did quite well.
He couldn't augur a good lesson plan out of that. He just was like, fuck, these people being smart has destroyed my work as a teacher to make them smart.
Yeah. He's trying to
Strange.
prove a point, but it didn't work out.
If he really wanted to prove a point, he would have rigged the test or used the last year's test that everyone failed instead of getting the new one.
Yeah, he really should have rigged the test.
Really should have rigged the test. You should have had to write like a 400-word essay on the Platt Amendment. Making sure to mention Tomas Estrada Palma and Taft in it, and the policies of the United States towards Cuba and how it led to Castro. I find it interesting that he said, "What in the blue Blazers?" and they had all showed up in like blue SUVs, like Chevy Blazers.
Well, it was cheaper than black at the time.
Is that what it is? Really?
Black was a little bit harder to animate with, and blue was very cheap.
You know, now when
They
you
use
watch
a
motion,
lot of it in cartoons.
think about the amount of maturity and compromise it took for these writers not to make these people look exactly like themselves. Because if you watch like Marvel, Star Wars, or Star Trek, all the characters, no matter what, always all only wear all black leather, like the writers think that they should wear all the time. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure everybody, like at the end of the day in that writers' room, when they go to grab their coats, it's like, okay, who has the black leather trench coat? Oh, that's mine. No, no, that's my black leather. No, that's my black leather trench coat.
yeah. But they don't use primary black as a primary because it mainly because of contrast. They need something to pop out.
So this cartoon is 40 years old, and the president's only about 40. I guess it's the same president.
Certainly does look like a former president we had.
It does it. It kind of looks like it kind of looks like someone mixed Ford with Clinton. Oh, but he's possessed by a demon and has no idea about it. So yeah, it's just like the real president. at any
Yeah.
given time. So they don't sound partisan. Spin the dial for a year. It could be anyone. The first sign that you shouldn't go meet your family is that they're in Florida. Oh, is that supposed to be a Florida accent?
He might as well have just said, "Hands off my girl." That would have done just the same. And they wouldn't
The
have come back.
moral of this the moral of this episode is that through stalking you will achieve great things. I love how everybody in Florida's got like a freaking Kentucky or Tennessee accent, but when you go to actual Florida, no one has any accent because everyone in Florida is from somewhere else.
Yeah, sure, he's gonna go home.
That's weird. Are they good or are they bad? That's classified, but I need you to kill them all because they're dangerous. Like, you
Yeah.
basically answered your own question. So it's like the Bratz cartoon. The Black Razor Anti Terrorist Team. What would the acronym for that be?
It was an obvious trap.
She went to Florida, right?
Florida, Mississippi, somewhere around the Gulf Coast.
No, she said there was a letter from Florida. Come on, you didn't pay attention to that careful character work? He didn't even identify himself.
Yeah.
Caller ID is already a thing.
And how does he have a direct line to the White House?
The Secret Service agent who answered the phone gave him everything but his social security number. He's like, "Oh, hello, this is David James Sharp speaking. I live at 486 like Lake Huron Drive." Am I wrong that I hope? Am I wrong that I kind of hope that that was the end of the episode?
Not quite.
Okay, we've got Fiery Phoenix going on. Hey, they stole that for the plot of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, growing up to 30 feet tall, that ain't gonna help you hide. They had to make sure that guy looks up just so everyone knows they're not dead. And there's a big change from calling her worthless at the beginning of the episode.
I know he's losing his form. Obviously, they're going woke now. It does look like a certain president, doesn't it?
Especially the hair.
It's the hair and the way he turned around right there. That now the president we're talking about was already pretty famous when this came out. Could he have been the inspiration? Because he famously ran for president for like 3 weeks in 1987.
Yeah, he's the most famous person to be considered for president until he actually did it.
He was kind of a celebrity. He ran for president, and it like really kicked his celebrity into high gear because there was a book out that was pretty good. I read the book; it was pretty good. So a little off-putting, but it's good. We're too stupid to hold on to that fucking mast. When these characters walk, it is just absolutely painful to watch.
Yeah, I think they skipped out on some of the cells.
Oh yeah, this is pretty fucking dark for children. I'm sorry. We've once again found another cartoon that it's not too bad, but like, who's your audience when you're this dark and you're a cartoon and it's this year? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely for like 10 to 15-year-old demographic.
Oh, if you're like a 15-year-old who was caught smoking angel dust at school and you're recovering from that, this is the cartoon that you watched.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like 95 to 99. That's
It
the era
feels
you get stuff like Extreme Ghostbusters, everything extreme. Then Batman Beyond.
right. Everything had to have like an appellation after it, like accentuating the fact that it was even more intense than before. I guess the other one would be like, was it like there was Charlie's Angels and that worked out okay, but then like a little too soon they throw Charlie's Angels. Was it Turbo? Right? Like that was just a
Uh,
trend.
yeah,
Charlie's Angels Overdrive or something like that. It was like more like Charlie's Angels Overdose. Like we didn't want those particular angels back that soon.
or ever really.
If or ever, yeah, really or ever. One movie was enough for those angels. Drew Barrymore had like thrown off the idea that she's pretty. Drew Barrymore was always really pretty, but like about the time that she started to do Charlie's Angels, there was some sort of perception glitched in her brain that she was also a very serious figure and a very serious filmmaker. Because I think here and there she tried to direct and stuff. So whenever you saw Drew Barrymore for like the 5 years leading up to Charlie's Angels, like it's not like she ever looked really good. It's like whenever you saw her, it was like really filthy jeans, Converse, a greasy T-shirt with like AC/DC on it, and a corduroy jacket, and long greasy blonde hair. I was like, "Is it Russell Crowe?" Oh no, it's Drew Barrymore. Like seriously,
Yeah,
it was like she was that bad.
that was the unfortunate side effect of hanging around Tom Green.
Oh, I think that Tom Green probably had an unfortunate side effect from hanging out with her. Like she was much weirder than him.
I don't know. He's a pretty screwed up guy.
When my friends ran into Drew Barrymore, she was with Eric Erlinson still, and she was like tripping out and wasted in public in New York City and got tossed out of the bar anyway for getting too naked and trying to have sex.
Yeah,
And the
you gotta
guy
be
from Hole
club
just
for that.
kind of shrugged his way through it. He's like, "What am I supposed to do?"
But
She had to
Yeah,
work hard
that's
to get thrown out of that bar.
yeah. That's more the later end of the whole trend.
It was before Charlie's Angels, but I'm trying to. This was like the middle of the '90s. It was before she started showing up dressed like Russell Crowe all the time. Although she was kind of dressed like Russell Crowe when those people met her. It's like the one time I stayed home and didn't go out and get drunk.
No, that's what you get for doing the responsible thing. That's
Right?
how I'm seeing a celebrity at their worst.
It's like I was only like 25 years old. Like, why the hell didn't I go out? What was my excuse? Something dumb like going to make money the next day. It's like, nope, I'm going to watch Deep Space Nine and go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, you don't go out, you don't get to see. That's probably best you didn't see it because she wasn't very. Even at her best, she was like a 7.
What, Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
She was like, since I guess she's maybe just a little older than me, right? Close to or older than me. Um, when both of us were jailbait age, she was cute. She had like a really cute face. And when I was in like say like 9th or 10th grade, I was like, wow, Drew Barrymore is so cute. Too bad she has so many problems. And then she seemingly got it together and had that like 15-year run of success that like I guess the last movie that she really is a draw that gets people to want to see is maybe 50 First Dates. A couple of those things. Like, she seems to gel with Adam Sandler. She had some comic abilities.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad for Adam Sandler movie.
There were Carrie Fisher written movies, so I mean we know that he had almost nothing to do with most of it. They were just plugged into Carrie Fisher's movie. He was smart enough to hire a ghostwriter who would take money under the table. And that could be why Drew Barrymore was just like, you remind me of Carrie. The way you don't remember what's going on, you're always wasted. You talk to the thin air. Drop Dead Fred was like autobiographical. I'm sorry, R.I.P. I love you, Carrie, but well, you did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
I just
That
saw
made Adam Sandler a little bit more tolerable in that one.
like I guess it's the 50th anniversary issue of People. It'll probably be on sale for like a whole year, you know what I mean? But it's like the 50th anniversary of People magazine. And they had like the 5 most frequently documented people by people on the cover of People. You get what I'm saying? Like the people, like the Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore of People magazine. And I didn't notice anyone except maybe George Clooney, but one of the people in it was Drew Barrymore now, and she has had quite a bit of things done to her face.
Oh yeah. She actually I
If
think has a talk show now. And
she does have a talk show, and that talk show is extremely strange if you've ever seen it.
only clips, thankfully. But
That show
she is
appeared.
quickly going to share route.
It's she's been there for a while. They did a better job of masquerading it this time, but every time I see the Drew Barrymore show, there are no sincere episodes. As in, we found like people with like with a story from their childhood, or we found like people who reunited. It's always like another celebrity, right? And it's like, you've just bounced back from like a lot of troubles, and you've written a self-help book, haven't you? It's like, yes, I have, and I wrote it with my friend Oprah or whatever. And that's it. Always feels like her show is basically sourced off the press release for any product you want to release. And if you have enough money, they'll make a Drew Barrymore show for you. And that's why that show didn't need writers. It was like during the writer's strike. Remember, they're like, we have a right to go on. And I'm like, commercials are still filming. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That show doesn't
But
ring true.
yeah. We're gonna have to cut it off here. Teague, what you got going on?
Maybe later on, together on with my people from my channel, we'll watch Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney. I'm considering that one, and Glenn Powell. It was just in theaters a few months ago, and I think it would be fun to watch a Sydney Sweeney movie.
Sounds good.
And of course, I'll be getting bot swarmed.
Well, of course, that's a
Of
given
course,
at this
that's what I
point.
do. Yeah, you could just add about 500 views a week onto my total from the legitimate views. YouTube's solution is, shall we say, unique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but as for this channel, we'll be back Tuesday for Sci-Fi Cinema with Andromeda, and Roundtable on Thursday. Cartoons next week. The poll will be up tomorrow for the choices in that. Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.